Well, good morning. Big stretch, everybody. How are you? What's going on out there in Lemon Live Land? What's happening, Lemon Nation? Good morning, Lemon Heads. We have a big show. It's a Friday. I thought Friday. Didn't you think Friday at least we would kind of be chilling? Not much to discuss. Good morning to all of you beautiful lemon heads out there, Heather. Thank you. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Candace, Jimenez, or Jimenez, because it's a G, not an H. Hello, everyone. So glad that you're here. Let us know where you are. We'd love to know what it's like, what the weather's like, what you're doing. Yeah. So, guys, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, because I think you're going to like the show today. So just do it in advance. TGIF, as Christy Blackman says, right on, Illinois, Anne Marie Lacey, or Lassie, Lassey. So here's the deal. The report is out. Now, we kept telling you that there was a bombshell that was going to drop, okay? And it did. And it is, I think, the tea, all right, ready for the tea to be spilled, or spilled, or it's just to be spilled. You mean ED. Put an ED on that for Sylvia Strong. Because, yes, and here's the thing. People were wondering, oh, is it salacious, what it is, whatever. It's bad. Anything that connects Donald Trump in this way personally to Jeffrey Epstein, and they were so chummy, ha, 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 oh my God, drawing, allegedly, according to the Wall Street Journal, pictures of women's private parts with squiggly lines for pubic hair, right? Oh, look, Andrea C. is here from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my hometown. By the way, the folks who are here in my home are all from Baton Rouge, Louisiana as well. So love from Baton Rouge. Thank you, Andrea C. So anything, right, anything that connects him to this is incredible. And so the story came out, it was right after we got off of our live last night. We're like, wait a minute. I mean, literally as soon as we ended our post-show meeting, I get a text from producer Peter, and it's like, is this it? And I was like, I think it's it. Let me read it. So I don't know if you guys saw it. Also, and remember what I said to you guys about the distraction, like don't fall for the okie doke. Be careful of the distractions, because there will be, they will distract. They're going to try to distract, and they are trying to distract already. But let me just say this. This one is connected, but it's not a direct distraction, but it serves as a distraction that we're going to talk about, but we're not going to let it take us off of our mission to discuss this Jeffrey Epstein thing, which has been so important to the MAGA movement for such a long time. Hello, San Diego. Put Grim R up on the screen. Peter is the man, says Angela Calloway. Yes, he is. Grim R, thank you for your very generous support of independent media. Thank you. We appreciate it. Hi, San Diego, Grim R. And welcome to all of our new members too, as well. So hit the like, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. It's at the bottom right hand of the screen. Just because you're a member, it doesn't mean you're subscribed. And just because you're subscribed, it doesn't mean that you're a member. Okay? So it's not going to take us off of our mission, because this Jeffrey Epstein thing is really important, because it's all about transparency. It's all about the First Amendment of the Constitution, which is about freedom of the press, because Donald Trump is now saying he's mad about that this article not leaked, that it was written, and now he is threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal. Now, I want you to keep in mind all of this, okay? So I always give caveats, by the way. This is in our merch store, okay? So Lemon Live with Don Lemon, this shirt and others in our merch store. So here's the thing that I want you to think about, because I always like to give a caveat just so people can know. Like old people be knowing, I want you to know, even though you guys are young whippersnappers. Remember the Wall Street Journal? Let me ask you this, class, before we get started this morning. Who owns the Wall Street Journal? Is the Wall Street Journal, is it conservative? Is it liberal? Who owns the Wall Street Journal? Who writes for the Wall? There you go. Not him suing his friend Rupert. Rupert Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. So now Donald Trump is mad at the very institution, one of the very institutions that has been supporting him, meaning a Rupert Murdoch institution. I can't say that the Wall Street Journal, because sometimes they do write some scathing articles about him, especially in their editorial section. But this isn't like someone on the right is writing this article. I mean, on the left, excuse me, is writing this article. Let me get right in the center of the screen here. It's not like someone on the left has written this article. This comes from the right, which is the conservative Wall Street Journal, owned by Rupert Murdoch, who now Donald Trump is saying Rupert Murdoch was supposed to handle this. Why didn't you fix this, Rupert? Why didn't you make this go away? Why wasn't this catch and kill like you did with the National Enquirer or the owner of the National Enquirer? This story and kill it before it hit the light of day? Why didn't you do it? He said that you promised to. That's what he's saying. We're going to talk to an attorney in just moments to figure out, well, why didn't he do that? Why is he going to sue? Does he have grounds to sue? Because he's been suing a lot of folks, right? Because he doesn't like what they're reporting on, and which is the truth, that he is a liar, that he lies more often than he tells the truth, which is obvious. I mean, I don't think do I have to say reportedly, allegedly after that? I don't know. I don't know. Grace Thompson, welcome to the Elimination. Appreciate you joining us. Kiwi Girl, sorry. This is like Kiwi Girl. Kiwi Girl 75, welcome to the Elimination. All of our new members. And thank you so much, Stephen R., for your generous gift. Has gifted because of Stephen R's his generosity. 5 people get to become members of Elimination. And Grace Thompson, welcome. Stephen R., thank you so much. And Kiwi Girl 75, welcome as well. And thank you so much, Grim R, for your generous contribution. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's talk about this story. Okay, and Donald Trump's, how litigious he is. Let's talk about the story and the litigious nature of Donald Trump. And you tell me what you think about this story. Because people had some ideas about, well, maybe this will be in it, maybe this will be in it, maybe this will be in it. And let me tell you this, because old people be knowing, okay? This is not the end of it. This is the beginning. This story that just dropped is going to be one of many to come. All right? Watch. And then now Donald Trump is saying, hey, we're going to release the court transcripts. The court transcripts, that's not what people care about the court transcripts, but that's not the thing that people want released. They want the Epstein files released. That is a different thing than the court transcript. So he's doing the old okey doke, trying to throw you off the trail, saying, well, now release the court transcripts. Okay, you're right. Drip, 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 Cassandra, you're right. This is a drip, drip, drip. One of many stories about to come out. Thank you, Deirdre Ann Lopian. You guys get it. This is a drip, drip, drip. But let's release all of the court transcripts. The court transcripts have been written about. Reporters were in the courtroom. They wrote about this. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is fake news. That they're, again, a distraction. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Here's the report. Let's put it up. Okay? So this is from the Wall Street Journal. Okay? So let me just say, at long last, this much rumored, much speculated about bombshell of the Wall Street Journal finally revealed. We got the story last night, shortly after we were getting off the air, and it did not disappoint. So consider this the end of the alliance between President Trump and Rupert Murdoch, I would think. And I'm going to read through the article in full in just a second, but I just wanted to give you an overview before I started this morning. The Wall Street Journal has uncovered that in 2003, Ghislaine, some people call her Ghislaine, Maxwell, compiled a 50th birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein, featuring contributions from dozens of associates, among them Leslie Wexner. Now, you guys, if people want to know, how did Jeffrey Epstein, where he got his money? This thing, considering I don't think he has a college degree, and I don't know if he's a college degree or high school dropout or whatever it is, and he became one of the wealthiest people in New York City. I think he had the biggest residential home townhouse in New York City. A lot of that was because of his handling of He was a financial advisor to Leslie Wexner, who was of Victoria's Secret fame. And I think it was he like Learners or I don't know, but anyway, fashion. He was in the fashion industry. And so he was a very wealthy man. And there are other sort of, the streets are talking. Do they have a relationship? Who knows what was going on? I don't know if that is true, but that's the rumor. And some of it has been reported. Others, it's just like the talk of New York City. What was the nature of their relationship has been the subject of much gossip and much speculation. But that's where Jeffrey Epstein reportedly got the bulk of his wealth. And that's from Leslie Wexner, who was, it's not the Gap. It is, I don't know, another fashion show. And then Alan Dershowitz, of course, the famed attorney, among them Alan Dershowitz, Leslie Wexner, and yes, Donald Trump himself. Okay, J. Crew, I think. Check it out. I just double checked Leslie Wexner and J. Crew. So here is what?
He once was on the board of Victoria's Secret and also Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works. Okay. All right. So here we go. So here, thank you very much, Peter. So here's what makes this explosive. Trump's page reportedly includes a typewritten mock dialogue between him and Epstein, printed inside the outline of a naked woman drawn in heavy marker. A pair of arcs donates her breast, and the name Donald is scrawled beneath her waist, seemingly mimicking pubic hair. So let's dig into the dialogue, okay? So here's how it starts. It starts with, quote, voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Then it moves into a back and forth, okay? Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Epstein says, yes, we do. And then Donald says, enigmas never age. And the grand finale, quote, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. Now, Donald Trump furiously denies the authorship of this. He claims that this is a, quote, fake Wall Street Journal story, declaring, quote, I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women, not my language, and has threatened lawsuits against the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Rupert Murdoch. The Journal made clear that this book was assembled before Epstein faced criminal charges. In response, Trump has ordered the Attorney General Pam Bondi to unseal grand jury testimony and other, quote, pertinent DOJ documents. Within Trump's own ranks, you know that? There's unrest. The MAGA hardliners, like Vice President J.D. Vance, blasting the story as complete and utter bullshit. But others are now publicly demanding full transparency after Bondi backtracked on earlier promises about the Epstein files. And I want to be clear here, there's no criminal allegations here, but the message is very ominous. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey, secrets, enigma. Holy schmoly. And now he's threatening to sue. One of the great legal minds of our time is joining us now. Look at that smile. She saw me. I see you back there in the green room backstage. Monnique Presley. Monnique, I'm so mad. This isn't true. I don't know. I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue you like I sued CBS. I'm going to sue you like I sued ABC. I'm going to sue you like I sued, I don't know, everybody else. I sue everybody. I'm Donald Trump. I'm going to sue. And he said that. Didn't he say, I'm going to sue you like I sue everybody else? Something like that.
He did. He said that. And, I mean, why wouldn't he? Because the letter that
hold on, Monique. Before we get to that, before we get to the sue part, what did you think of the contents of the story?
I was headed there. I was saying the letter is so different than anything that we would expect from this president, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's his character. It doesn't seem like anything he would be involved in. It doesn't, I mean, it's such a departure from the Donald Trump, like the grab him by the pee guy.
You're being sarcastic, right?
I think maybe, unless I'm rusty, I've been off for a couple of weeks. So, um, it even down to the Sharpie. It's just they say it was written, with the Sharpie. We know his affinity for Sharpies. But to me, I guess the protestation is the real problem, Don. The big, it's not me, it's not me. When this is the man who got elected saying that he could murder someone in the middle of a street in New York and
Shoot
still be
someone.
elected. This is the person who spoke profanely about other women's body parts and the ability to just assault them and it be okay that while he was married and had an expectant wife. I mean, this is the serial cheater, the serial marrier. And for them to protest this says to me, it's not just this, it's a lot more than this.
Wait. What? Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
I
Sorry, I'm
can't
trying to
hear
fix
you,
my
Don.
mic here. You can't hear me? Oh, wait. Can you guys hear me?
I
the
can hear
producers
you,
me?
Don.
Yeah, Monique, you can't hear me? Monique, go out and come back in.
Oh, is it me?
It's you.
Yeah, Monique, could you try leaving StreamYard and coming back in?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go out.
Okay,
Go out and
thank
come
I
you.
don't know
back
how
in.
to do that, but I'll go out.
Yeah, just log off
Wait.
and log back in. Okay, so we'll get Monique. As I'm trying to fix my mic, Monique is going to try to fix her thing, but it's not me. It's not me, it's you, Monique. It's not you, it's me. So Monique is going to join us back. And is she back? Monique, can you hear me now? She can't hear me now. I'm going to log her off. And then can you guys just can you click her out or do we have to do that? Because she said, there we go.
Yeah.
So Monique there was being, we were having some problems with her service. You could see there. She's being a little bit facetious about this, right? And so here's what we're going to do. As we wait on Monique, let me do this. Yeah, Monique, are you back? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Monique, stand by. Let me just do this real quick, and then we'll get back to it. So stand by. I'm going to get a word in from our sponsors, okay? So support for this episode comes from the Wild Alaskan Company. Look, when was the last time that you actually trusted the seafood that you brought home? I used to ask that question about everything, the quality, the taste, the environment, the environmental impact, and on and on. But then I found Wild Alaskan Company. Everything changed when I found the Wild Alaskan Company. Wild Alaskan delivers wild-caught, nutrient-rich seafood straight to your door. No farms, no antibiotics, no nonsense. It is just clean, real fish caught in Alaska and frozen at peak freshness to lock in flavor and all of those omega-3s. I'm telling you, their sockeye salmon is my go-to, rich, buttery, and so fresh that you can taste it and taste the freshness of the ocean. And every order supports sustainable fishing communities. Here's the best part. You can try it risk-free with 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with your first box, they're going to refund it to you. No questions asked, okay? So go to wildalaskan.com/lemon for $35 off of your first box. That is wildalaskan.com/lemon, and eat better, feel better, do better with the Wild Alaskan Company. Support for the Don Lemon Show today also comes from BetterHelp. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp, okay? So let's be real. Workplace stress through the roof right now. 61% of workers worldwide say stress is affecting their mental health, and a vacation, that's a Band-Aid. It's really not a cure. But therapy, that's where the real work happens. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform with over 30,000 licensed therapists and 5 million users globally. And it's easy. Log in, book a session, switch therapists if you need to, all on your schedule. And let me tell you, therapy works. Talking to someone helped me stay grounded, focused, and reminded me that I don't have to carry it all alone. Okay. So for you old school folks who's like, I don't need that. I just need my pastor. I just need Jesus. I just need to pray. The Lord helps those who help themselves. Okay. So start small, start today. Go to betterhelp.com/DonLemon for 10% off of your first month. That's betterhelp.com/DonLemon. Take the first step. Your mind will thank you. Back now to the news and Monique Presley. Monique, we got you, right?
I'm here.
All right. So Monique, what is up with this? You were saying you were being sort of facetious about This doesn't sound anything like Donald Trump because, Donald Trump never wants to grab women by the pussy. Donald Trump never wants locker room talks. Donald Trump was not found liable for sexual abuse in a civil court, which the judge later said was akin to rape. None of that happened with him. So this is really out of the ordinary for him. He would never do anything like this.
Right. And the fact that it is so on brand for him, and that part of his brand is also not giving a damn when these things come out, like they deny, and aren't worried about it. To me, the fact that there is all of this early protestation means that they are well aware of the kinks in their own base, in their own armor, that they've got bigger fish to fry. I don't know if it is because of what they are now refusing to release in these Epstein files that are either a nothing burger or not, or I don't know if it's that they see plainly how much water they're taking on in MAGA land from running with this conspiracy theory for so long, and now they don't have the stuff. I mean, they ain't got the mots on the Epstein files, or it's bad for people they don't want it to be bad for. And so as I was listening to Isaiah Martin yesterday, who's running for Sheila Jackson Lee and Sylvester Turner's congressional district in Houston, he was saying,
Texas, yeah.
They're in trouble because they have no good ideas, they have no good policies. Everything they promised they were going to do, they're not doing, and then even the things that they run up and gin up their folks on are falling flat. So
like this one. Yeah. Hey, Monique, let me play this. This is a report from France 24, and then I want to show you some other things of what Donald Trump is threatening to do and what he's putting out in the atmosphere in the world about Rupert Murdoch. But first, this is a report from France 24.
Well, this article from the Wall Street Journal is a bombshell piece which the White House is vehemently pushing back upon. In one section of the article, it says this letter that Donald Trump allegedly wrote to Jeffrey Epstein for his birthday. They say, quote, the letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret, end quote. Well, the Wall Street Journal told the White House about the existence of this letter on Tuesday, which may go some way to explain Donald Trump's change of tone regarding his supporters asking about Jeffrey Epstein that we saw on Wednesday. But the White House has slammed this article as fake, with Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary for the White House, saying that the Wall Street Journal refused to show us the letter and conceded they don't even have it in their possession when we asked them to verify the alleged document they're basing their entire fake story on. Well, now Trump is threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal as well as News Corp and its owner, Rupert Murdoch. Now, Trump said in a post on Truth Social that Rupert Murdoch had told Donald Trump that he would take care of squashing this story, but that it was published anyway. Trump has sued a number of media outlets in recent months, which have resulted in numerous capitulations. It's unclear, though, how much Trump will seek in this lawsuit as he now pushes back against the latest revelation, this time from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay, let me just put this up because in there's let's put up the Donald Trump tweet or post or whatever that he's saying he's threatening now. Here it is, Donald J. Trump. The Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures. I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam, that he shouldn't print this fake story, but he did. And now I'm going to sue his ass off. And that of his third-rate newspaper. Thank you for your attention to this matter, DJT. And then there's one more, though, buddy. There's one more. There's another one. Let's get there. There's a longer version, too. The Wall Street Journal says it's a fake and that print it. And they will be, okay, here it is. The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump that the supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was a fake. And if they printed it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it. like, I guess this was like, gosh, what was it, the owner of the Inquirer, the parent company, when they, the catch and kill? I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. They will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. So now he's questioning his power, saying that he's weak. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, was told directly by Caroline Leavitt and by President Trump that the letter was a fake, but Emma Tucker didn't want to hear that. Instead, they are going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story. Anyway, President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. And stand by, there's one more thing that I want to put up here, and then Monnique, I want you to, and this is from the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone is reporting here, it's obvious from these tweets. Team Trump was on a warpath to kill this story about salacious letter to Epstein. They did not want this shit out, and they were on a warpath to have it done. Now, do you remember, what was it? Guys, look up again. I forget. What was the name of the Wall Street, of the Inquirer's parent company that was involved in the catch and kill? And anyway, I forgot. If you can look it up for me, Peter, but you know what I'm talking about. He wanted to do a catch and kill with Rupert Murdoch. So go on, Monnique, what say you?
And he doesn't have the juice. He's done catch and kills his entire business career. He is the king of the catch and kill, and he always has something in his hip pocket that is worth more to whatever the organization, the publication, than the thing that they are about to produce. And he could not get it done. And his White House team is not up to the task of getting it done. And he got rid of the real fixers who would have probably still gotten it done, but he was too busy, leaving them high and dry and exposed to go to jail. Like, God bless him. What's his former fixer's name? I can't remember right now, but he quite literally went to prison and now is out and talking to others and on the circuit. And
I was thinking about American media, and then David Pecker was the publisher of the Inquirer during the catch and kill times, during the catch and kill days.
Right, and he was always prepared to play. But he had to testify in a prior trial of Trump's, and now the game has changed, and he could not get it done. And this seems like not even a hard one to land.
Let me ask you, Monnique, in any other time, a lot of these lawsuits that we're seeing from Donald Trump to these media organizations would be seen as frivolous, and people would be like, all right, go ahead, sue me, because it's hard to slander a libel. I believe the bar is high in
Yes.
in America to sue for a public figure. Am I correct in
Yes.
that? And so, yeah. And so in any other time, these companies would be fighting against it. And this lawsuit would be seen as frivolous by the Wall Street Journal. But is it so much now?
It's not a question of the bar being lower. It's a question of, to me, the thing that makes this story, though I am just laughing my way through it, it's mostly delirium. It's what makes this so important, that we are watching news organization after news organization comply in advance, fold. We are watching them not stand by their principles. We're watching them give up the higher ground, and frankly, of course, and instead they are settling and settling and settling, and that is because of fear. Same as, I'm sure you covered the story with Maureen Comey yesterday, and what she said about fear, and how fear is a tool of a tyrant. It is a symbol of the approach of totalitarianism and of an autocratic state. And we are watching Stacey Abrams, I know you talked to her about that, I think, talk about the same thing, and we're seeing it in our news organizations. So the threat of suing right now is that you have a full government structure coming after you. I mean, did you notice, even when they admitted that they knew about this story, he's got the White House press secretary calling news organizations. He's got people who work in his presidential capacity for him who were doing his personal bidding. So none of the lines are separated. None of the paths are clear anymore. It's all converged into really the kind of state that belongs to a regime and to a dictator, not to a democracy.
So having said that, then now what? Do you think that? I don't know, Monnique. I mean, let's remember, Monnique, I've been saying this. Who owns the Wall Street Journal? It's Rupert Murdoch. It's Rupert Murdoch's conservative. He owns Fox News. I was watching Fox News this morning, and I think it was their 9 o'clock hour. The one, right? I didn't wake up and watch Fox and Friends. I should watch. I mean, I need some comedy in the morning, so I should start watching Fox and Friends. But I watched the morning show. I think it's with Bill Hemmer or whatever. And you know what their lead story was? It was Mamdani, New York City socialist something. Mamdani was their lead story. And I was like, wait, what? So why would a Rupert Murdoch enterprise be against Donald Trump?
And reading tea leaves, seeing the way that the wind is blowing, and maybe a little less fear, because they had every opportunity to not print this story and they chose to print it anyway, which says to me, I mean, come on, it's Wall Street Journal. It means one, they are pretty sure they're sure. And two, that they're not concerned about the repercussions. They know who this man is. And there's this other piece of it where we've gone through entire Epstein trial and Ghislaine trial and not heard about this, which means judges heard about this and decided not to admit it. So I don't believe, not for 15 seconds, that this was Trump's lawyer's first time learning about this so-called fake evidence.
Really?
Ensure that it did not come out before. And it was a right decision by a judge, I would say, for it not to come out, because it's not criminal. It doesn't involve accusations of criminality, etc. And so somebody decided that it was more prejudicial than probative, that it brought in and unnecessarily cast aspersions upon a public figure. And so decisions have been made about this particular document. But now, Murdoch, WSJ, everybody just did middle fingers up and said, yeah, but here it comes. Deal with it.
So I just wanted to say this because I thought I was like, wow, because I was texting. I texted you this morning. I was like, what do you think of this? Whatever. I was texting with Katie Fang, the great Katie Fang. And I love it, or Fang, however you want to pronounce it. But here's what she said, and I thought it was really smart. She said, suing the Wall Street Journal and Murdoch certainly is one way of keeping this in the public discourse, which is kind of what he doesn't want. So now he's going to sue, and that's going to bring even more light to it, which will make people dig into this even more, and thusly adding to the drip, drip, drip.
I don't think he's going to sue.
You don't?
I mean, I can be wrong, but why are they doing this whole request the judge release partial grand jury testimony thing? I mean, just go ahead and sue. You're right, aren't you? You're in the right. They don't have the evidence. They don't have the juice. Pay your $72. File a case.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're over a barrel. And so when you come up saying you're going to send Pam Bondi in to request the court release portions of grand jury testimony, well, how to blinkety blink do you know what the damn grand jury testimony says, or that it would be helpful to you? There is a whole lot of crapola going on here. And these are all my vacation words, Don, because I'm just on vacation.
I see you. You got your vacation hair, your vacation locks. I love it. I love vacation Monique.
But vacation Monique is saying crapola.
It's all right. We love it. Monique, so let me ask you then. You said you don't think that they are going to sue. What did I want to ask you?
Discovery? Do you really want discovery in a case like this?
Does he want discovery? No, because that just opens everything back up. Yeah. Here's my other question. Yeah, why would he bring more attention to it? But the fact is, when he says, I want to release his grand jury and I want to release his testimony, that's not the actual release of the files. Isn't that kind of a head fake? Is he trying to fool the people, the public,
yes.
and his base? Like, hey, look, see, I'm releasing the information. But he's not really releasing the information because much of it, what's in those files have been written about, even though it was like sealed and somewhat. People were in the courtroom and they were writing about what was being said in the courtroom. Come on now.
Yeah, well, in grand jury testimony, I would assume the judge would say no. And so that's why in the tweet or whatever they call them now, it said to the extent the court will allow or something like that. And Pam Bondi says she's going to go today and ask the court. I mean, for what? What would be the overwhelming? Well, there is no overwhelming reason. I'm trying to tell you, just because they want it is not an overwhelming
Well,
reason.
they said release the grand jury, but doesn't a judge have to do that? Is that up to Pam Bondi?
Well, that's why it says no. Pam Bondi said she's going to go in and make the request, and I don't believe that. And that's why the tweet said to the extent the court allows, and I don't believe that the court would do it just because they're asking for it. And again, how do they know it's helpful? Do you see where all of these things are converging together? Like if Pam Bondi has gone and reviewed non-released grand jury testimony in order to figure out whether it is favorable to the president of the United States, she is so far away from her damn bar card. It's horrible.
Okay, so the walls put up. This is the WSJ saying, you know, he's going to. This is what he's going to do. He's trying to get it released. Okay, so this is the Wall Street Journal that he wants the documents following the Wall Street Journal. Okay, so then, but we have this. Okay, from Politico, MAGA leaps to Trump's defense over the Wall Street Journal reporting. So we have JD Vance's tweet, right? JD Vance is saying, hey, this is bullshit. Forgive my language. JD Vance said he's not wading in all of this. Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bullshit. The WSJ should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before us, he's saying. Us before publishing it. Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Do they want us to answer that? Anyways, go on. So that's JD Vance. And then I don't know if Elon Musk is also now defending at least the letter, basically saying, well, I can't believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself before realizing this. This is before. This one is old. That one's not pertinent. That one is before they released it. There's the other one, the Elon Musk tweet after that. So you can take that one down. That one's there. That's not it. No, there's an Elon Musk tweet afterwards. And if you go into the Wall Street Journal report, okay, I thought we had pulled the Elon Musk tweet. Can we get that one, please? But go into the Wall Street Journal reporting, the one where it says, or the one where it says they're coming to the defense that you just had up. And if you scroll through that one, Andy, are you there? Yeah. Keep going. And it should be keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going all the way down. It should say the folks who are coming out to where is it? Keep going. Anyways, it's in this report somewhere. But anyways, he is saying to him, it does not. Here it is. There we go. Elon Musk, a billionaire, former Trump advisor who publicly feuded with the president, also used his platform to cast doubt on the story, suggesting that the language at his birthday letter didn't sound like Trump's voice. Musk had previously suggested that Trump hasn't released Epstein's files because the president's name appears in them. He later deleted that. So basically, he's saying it looks like a fake. That's what he is saying. Does any of this look fake to you?
Or it sounds like a fake. I mean, we have no way of knowing, but I mean, if it's a fake, it's a fake. So everybody file your papers. Like, why would the question that really has to be asked is why the Wall Street Journal would do this. I mean, they have been tracking with this president since well before his first term. They know what he sounds like and what he doesn't sound like. They know what's been authenticated and what hasn't. They obviously have some inside scoop on this. And when the arm of the president of the United States said, don't do it, they did it anyway. That is everything that I'm considering. Like they're not just itching for this fight where they're made fools of and lose. I do not believe that. That is the thing that's least likely.
Monnique Presley, go back to your vacation. Thank you. You need this though for your vacation. Where's your Lemon Live?
I want one right now. Mine says the wake, pray, slay. I'm back from vacation. I just look like vacation, but
and you need this too. Whoops. Oh, I'm just doing like the lady who can't. You need one of these as well.
I had one though. Did you see my Cowboy Carter pictures? I've done the whole thing. Like I need my white hat for this season.
Thank you, Monnique. We appreciate you joining us. Oh, Monnique, she jumped off. Monnique Presley, the great Monnique Presley. Thank you so much. Listen, now we're going to talk about, there are other things that are happening in the news. The CBS story. Did you see what's happening with late night? Did you see what's happening with Stephen Colbert? We have the perfect person to speak to it in just seconds. Just give me 2 minutes because I want to get a word in from our sponsors, and we're going to be with the great Oliver Darcy, who has the inside scoop on all of this. So support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from Lean. If you've got a bold summer weight loss goal, but needles aren't for you, I want you to listen up. There's a cactus that's called Caralluma. It's used in India for centuries. It is a natural appetite suppressant, and it is a star ingredient in Lean, a doctor-formulated supplement designed to help burn fat and curb cravings. Doctors say it is the closest thing to the benefits of injections without the shots. That the shots aren't meant for everybody, all right? So Lean supports healthy blood sugar, reduces appetite, and helps to turn fat into energy. I've tried it. Tim has tried it. And I'll be honest, it does work. There's no jitters. There's no crash. Just smart science and natural ingredients working with your body, not against it. So let's get you started. 20% off. Use the code LEMON20 at takelean.com. That's lemon20 at takelean.com. And I have to say this, okay? Because you need to check with your doctor for everything. Check with your health provider or your doctor. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult with a healthcare provider. Also, support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from the Freedom from Religion Foundation. It is summer, campfires, late night stories, but lately, one story's being forced on us, and that is America was founded as a Christian nation. That religion belongs in your classrooms, or in your doctor's offices, or even in your bedrooms. In Arizona, politicians are trying to roll back abortion rights. Voters just passed it. In Texas, they want to put the 10 Commandments in every public school classroom. In Congress, they just passed a bill that is attacking gender-affirming care for everyone. This isn't about faith. It's about control. It's Christian nationalism. And that's where the Freedom from Religion Foundation steps in. FFRF steps in here. They have been fighting for the real freedom since 1978, separating church from state in courtrooms, classrooms, and beyond. If you believe this country should serve everyone, join the fight. Go to ffrf.org/freedom or text Don to 511-511 or ffrf.org/freedom and text Don to 511-511 because the only story about this country should be the story that belongs to you. This country belongs to you, not just the Christian right. Okay. Message and data rates may apply. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We are happy to and grateful to have you. Oliver Darcy is here.
Hey, Don.
Latest newsletter. Thank you so much. Sorry, we're a little bit late getting on. Oliver, what the hell's going on at CBS? Canceling Stephen Colbert. He's the #1 late night talk show. By the way, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Canceling the #1 late night talk show. Not only that, Stephen Colbert was actually adding viewers, which is completely opposite of what's happening now in linear television. What gives here?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot going on here. Let's just get this out of the way. Linear television is also obviously declining. So, the advertising on the show, the revenue was bringing in was declining like every other show on television. But you can't ignore what's happening with Paramount, which is CBS's parent company. It's being merged with David Ellis and Skydance. And we've talked about this before. I think, Don, you and I have talked about the 60 Minutes ramifications, what it's going to mean for CBS News when this merger goes through. But it also is having impact on late night. And that's because I believe David Ellison and Skydance, they want to remove what they consider to be a liberal taint on, at the network. And so that's going to manifest in making changes, big changes at CBS News. You're seeing some of the beginnings of that. We reported first over at Status that David Ellison was in talks to bring Barry Weiss and have her in a high-ranking position at CBS News. But also, if you wanted to eliminate the idea of CBS being liberal, Stephen Colbert is the person you have to get rid of, right? Because every single night he's going on air and he's needling Donald Trump. And Donald Trump can't stand him. Donald Trump has called for him to be fired. And we know that that Sherry Redstone, who controls Paramount, and David Ellison, they're willing to do what it takes to get their deal done. So they paid $16 million for this CBS 60 Minutes lawsuit to go away. And it wouldn't be difficult to assume or guess that maybe getting rid of Stephen Colbert might have been, part of that arrangement.
Oliver. I mean, I know like the ad rates are down. I get all of that, but the timing is really weird, especially when, again, considering, couldn't they have just said, look, we are going to streamline the Colbert show, the late night.
Of course.
Yeah. Or, we're going to cut back on maybe, I think Fallon did, they always did like Monday through Thursday, I believe. And Friday was on tape. It's been that way for a while. Or they would tape 2 shows on Thursday. But couldn't they have just cut it back instead of, this sends a really strong message and it's suspicious.
100%. They could have done a lot, I think. They could have worked with Stephen Colbert to cut costs. He could have taken a pay cut. There could have been a reduction in the amount of, maybe he doesn't do Fridays anymore. There could have been some work done. To my understanding, that didn't happen. They just decided to eliminate the show. And what's particularly strange about this, so CBS right now is run by a man named George Cheeks. He's the co-CEO of Paramount. If you're him, think about this for a second. You know that new ownership is coming in a few weeks, right? New owners are coming in. Stephen Colbert is the most recognizable personality that you have at CBS. There's no one more recognizable than Stephen Colbert at CBS, right? You do not decide to get rid of him just a few weeks before the new owners come in. You would hold on to that. You would say, wait a second, let's just wait and see what the new owners want to do, right? We don't want to do this without their approval. Like, it's like, as some would say, maybe it's like painting a house red right before you hand the keys over to the new owner. You don't do that unless the new owner wants the house red. And so I think it's very clear that the new ownership wanted this done, and they probably wanted some, they didn't want to make the move themselves because it's not a good move to make. It looks very bad. And so what do you do? You have the current leadership at Paramount make the move. Then they can say their hands are wiped clean. We don't have control of the company. We haven't even taken over yet, right? And I think that's pretty clearly what's going on. I do not for one second believe they canceled Stephen Colbert for a purely financial decision. In fact, last week, Don, in our status newsletter, we reported that Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart were on thin ice because of politics. And at the time, I wrote that what they will likely do is get rid of the show and cite financial decisions. And those financial decisions, to some extent, they are legitimate. Like, these shows are declining as linear television goes down, but that's not the real driving force behind getting rid of Stephen Colbert.
You talked about this in your podcast. I just put it up. You wrote about it in your newsletter, which I read, but also you talked about it on your podcast, right? And it's called Power Lines. Is that right? The episode
Power Lines, yes. And we actually talk about it. We right before we came on, Don, we uploaded the second episode and we discussed this as well. So if your viewers are interested, Power Lines is what the show's called.
Yeah, and I think that if you guys producers, if you can get it up, because I just sent it to you guys, and just because I want to show them, just you don't have to put the sound up, but because Oliver does such great work. And just out of the blue, I texted Oliver. Tim and I were sitting around talking about. I won't mention there are other industry sites that people used to read all the time religiously, and now it's just like, except for Oliver. I mean, Oliver, you're doing a great job, and I think that the reason that Status is doing so well is because you are really doing what people want now, and that is without fear or favor. You're reporting on what's happened.
I think, Don, that's been the mission from day one. There are so many sites out there, so many podcasts out there that claim they're giving the behind the scenes info, that claim they're unfiltered, that they're saying what everyone's thinking, but too afraid to say out loud. We actually do it. And I think that's why it's resonated. And I think that's frankly why people come to us with information, because they know that we're not going to water it down, and they know we're going to report it out, and we're going to get the information out there. And so, that's why, again, last week we had this report on Colbert on being on thin ice. We were the first ones with that. We're the only ones at the time with that. And, that's because we, just say had some good speculation, good informed idea of what was happening there. So
well, let's see. I haven't even heard it. Let's listen to it a little bit, Andy. You can put it up and put the sound up. Let's see if we can hear it a little bit. This is a new Power Lines. This is the podcast that Oliver has, and he's talking about Trump, which is pertinent, and CBS. Roll it.
Stephen Colbert addressed a report on air earlier this week, and I think he referred to us as TV bloggers typing. It's pretty clear that we're not TV bloggers just typing away here.
No, we're TV podcasters. Get it right.
Kind of weird that all these other outlets are just ignoring our reporting. We had reported this in Status, and it's very strange, I think, seeing a lot of these mainstream outlets pretend as if our reporting does not exist.
Don't worry, Darcy. I see you. I know you're there.
Oliver, I love it. And you're
you,
right, because many times here, and I tell you all the time, many times here in streaming, it feels like we're in a silo, right? We break stuff, we have great guests, but these for some reason, and maybe maybe what happened with Trump and Epstein is breaking the MAGA spell, I believe. But maybe this Colbert thing, which is huge, will break the mainstream media's spell to stop being so navel gazy and just reporting on themselves and the people who are in linear, when folks like us who are on YouTube, folks like us who are in streaming, it has surpassed linear television viewing. And perhaps it's time for them to figure out that they need to do it a different way. And they need to come on over to where we're having the real conversations. Am I wrong? Am I just being too patting ourselves on the back?
I think that there's a big hesitancy from a lot of organizations to look at new media in a serious way, right? It's just kind of like viewed as a fun thing they're doing. Oh, it might work. They might make some money or whatever, but it's not viewed in a serious way. And the reason I had made those comments, Don, is because we have, I think, repeatedly beat these mainstream outlets to a lot of stories by either days, weeks, or months, even at times. And they are so hesitant to offer any credit. And, we link to them all the time in our newsletter. We credit them all the time. And I noticed yesterday, again, we had reported that Colbert was on thin ice with Jon Stewart, who I believe will also be ousted from Paramount. Last week, they addressed our report on their shows, like this week. And it was really interesting seeing the creative writing in some of these news organizations and their stories, where they said that they were these hosts were addressing online speculation or things, questions about whether they would be okay. And I'm like, well, what was the thing that started, that online speculation, or this didn't just happen out of thin air? And I just think that these organizations they do not like crediting new media, and that's unfortunate. And I think they should really view it with a little more of a,
it's very interesting. I know I can hear it's dripping with, I don't know if it's sarcasm or I'm not the word, when I hear folks saying, and these online, these bloggers, these podcasters, and you're like, oh my God, really? But you know what? We were once those people.
Well, by the way,
but it was a different
a lot
time
of these
then,
people want to be in this space, right? Yeah. They're moving in this space. They're doing their best too. And in some cases it's working. In other cases, I think it's a little too stiff, and they're still not really adapting quite to the platform. But at the same time, they also poo-poo it which is it's a strange dynamic there.
Yeah. As soon as I heard the news, though, and I had seen what you were saying, what did he say? By the way, I didn't see what he said. Did they shoot it down, the reporting from you before?
No. Colbert addressed it and made a few jokes about how could they fire Stephen Colbert when he has this new mustache and he looks a little different.
Yeah.
And
do you think he
Jon
knew
Stewart,
then?
What was that?
Do you think he knew then?
No, I do not believe he knew. I think that our reporting caught them off guard. I don't think he had any idea. And in fact, last night when he said he was delivered the news to the audience that he was being canceled, he said he had learned about it the night before. So that seems to be when they told him. And I do wonder if they actually told him this because our reporting had, maybe generated a little bit of need to move fast.
Wow.
I don't know.
CBS canceling late night show with Stephen Colbert. After next season, when I got this, you know what I thought? And look, I'm not, because when I was in linear, people would predict it all the time. I'm like, no, you guys. I said linear is dead. And then someone said, yes, but this is also payback for, or part of the deal, I should say, for CBS and Paramount. And I said, but I can't imagine being a media executive right now, especially in this position. And I know them, but I would just feel like, man, we have no integrity right now. I just have to do what the corporation says, and journalistically or whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. You just, I don't know.
I think Stephen Colbert is going to be better off, by the way. I bet he's going to get a better deal out of this whole thing. I don't know if Netflix is going to go after him. But I do think the one to watch now is Jon Stewart. And if you're Jon Stewart, you're probably looking around and thinking, my contract's up in December, but it's not looking so good.
You think it's over do you think they're going to get rid of the Daily Show?
I actually, again, we had some good intel on this. I was thinking that Jon Stewart would be the first domino to fall because it's actually easier to get rid of him because his contract already is expiring in December, and Comedy Central is not as important of an asset as CBS. And Stephen Colbert has a very large audience. He's the #1 rated late night comedian. And so I assume that Stewart would be the first to fall, not Colbert. But I can't imagine a world in which they're getting rid of Colbert and they're not going to also, throw Jon Stewart to the curb, especially because Comedy Central, I mean, that network, it's sort of, on its last legs.
People want to know then what happens next, right? They're thinking, oh, what does this mean? Because, you still got other folks out there. Obviously, you have the Daily Show. I watched the Daily Show, is it still on? It's on at 11, right?
It's on. Yeah, it's on. Jon Stewart does one night a week, and then it's a rotating cast of hosts. So like Jordan Klepper and others will do the other nights.
Yeah. And then people will wonder what happens now to Kimmel. And by the way, Jimmy Kimmel's responding. Host Jimmy Kimmel shared Colbert's video on Instagram and added, "Love you, Stephen. F you all. F you and all your Sheldons, CBS." Okay. So what happens to Fallon and Kimmel? What does this portend to them? For them?
I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot going on here because the economics are obviously collapsing for linear television. So I think just naturally you're going to see big names continue to leave, shows continue to get canceled, and that's going to just happen until linear television doesn't exist anymore, right?
Wow. At
the same time, I also believe that this Colbert thing, while disguised as a financial decision, was really more a political decision. So I'm not sure what it means for Kimmel. I had a hard time thinking Disney's going to get rid of Kimmel. He's also arguably the most recognizable personality on ABC, and he hosts a wide range of things from award shows to his late night program. So hard to see that happening, but we're in unprecedented territory as well. I do think Disney's in a different situation than CBS and Paramount. So that's why I think Jon Stewart's really the one to watch right now and see what happens with him.
Thank you, Oliver Darcy, editor, chief editor, writer, creator, scoop getter.
Wear a lot of hats over here, Don. You have to wear hats, a lot of them, when you're on your own and independent. I'm sure you do too.
Tell us how we get your stuff and where we get, because I've kept you way too long. I know you had an 11 o'clock appointment. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries at all. Go to status.news, sign up for our newsletter there. And then we're also, our new podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. It's called Power Lines. Please subscribe.
Put it
Like
up,
the
please,
episodes,
Andy.
Give
There
us
we
a
go.
like.
There's
really
status
appreciate
right
it.
there.
Yeah.
There's status right there. Status.news. And then check out Power Lines that we just played. I'm telling you guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I've read lots of newsletter and all the industry stuff. Oliver Darcy is the best. Now, I don't know about this John Pasantino
Thank
guy.
you.
I'm kidding.
John is great too.
I
We got to
know,
get
I'm
John
joking.
on this show as
Let's
well.
get him.
Don.
Let's do it. I would
Let's
love
do
to.
it.
100%.
All right, maybe next week.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you soon. Appreciate it. Have a
thanks,
great
Don.
weekend. Say hi to John. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, that's Oliver Darcy over at status.news. And also check out Power Lines, the podcast. Let's put this up. I think we have Stephen Colbert announcing. I just want to show it so you guys can see just a little bit of the report from this was on the Today Show, I believe, this morning. Here it is.
I want to let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season.
Stephen Colbert's announcement sending shockwaves through the television world.
It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of the Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
It's a major shift in the late night landscape and for the famous host. Colbert got his start on Comedy Central's The Daily Show and later won fans on the satirical Colbert Report before taking over the network's seat from David Letterman. And with the end of The Late Show, the end of an era.
It's The Late Show with David Letterman.
It debuted in 1993 with David Letterman at the storied Ed Sullivan Theater.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. My name is Dave.
Letterman hosted for more than 2 decades, sparking an intense late-night rivalry with The Tonight Show's Jay Leno and creating a string of iconic moments, from headline-grabbing celebrity interviews
It's my birthday. You made it. Gosh, it was fun.
to musical performances to his famous top 10 lists.
The category, top 10 things never before said on The Sopranos.
After a long run, Letterman retired in 2015. Colbert moving into the spotlight, making his own mark with interviews, performances, and his signature political commentary.
But everybody I talk to is talking about what Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about. So,
All right.
so let's talk about it.
All right, so
Despite
there
an
we go.
overall decline.
All right, so there we go. So she was going to say, despite an overall decline in linear, pick it up. I want you to hear this part because it's really important. Go, sorry, I cut you off.
In late-night ratings, Colbert had the #1 show for 9 straight seasons.
There's nobody bigger on CBS than Stephen Colbert right now, literally dropping their biggest star.
CBS executives saying in a statement, this is purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. It is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount.
Okay,
Colbert
so,
recently
here we go.
criticizing
There
the
we go.
16.
So he said it was, I don't know what he called it, a bribery or something. I forget what he said. But here's the thing. Oliver Darcy brings up a very good point. You don't just, when someone else is taking over a new company, just say, I'm going to get rid of you. Wait for the new guys, right? You wait for the new guys. And then there's just something that's just a bit, the timing is just really off. I'm just going to be honest. And you don't have the upfronts where they do the upfronts and they tout people and they say, this is what we have the #1 talk show. And so you should buy into our advertising and you should watch CBS and you should do this. Colbert. And then all of a sudden you cancel it. So look, I want you to guys to let this sink in because Stephen Colbert was, and I don't always agree with everything that's on, so that's besides the point. But he's one of the most biting, intelligent voices in late night television. And so why did this happen? You guys know why. I don't believe that it's about ratings or contracts. I think it was a quiet purge of the voices who were like challenging MAGA narrative. And they refused to bow to Donald Trump. That's what I think this is all about. I mean, look, when I was fired, they said, they never told me that. They told my colleagues that, oh, this is just business. I don't know. I have no idea why. They say it was a business or tone or whatever it is. And then when Joy Reid is attacked, they say it's about ratings. But even though Joy Reid's ratings were high and not so much anymore. So whenever Colbert is canceled, it's the same thing. They say this is business. It's a network decision. Come on, y'all. What we are witnessing right now in the entertainment industry is just like the corporate America and even some corners of the press. They're bending the knee to a man who tried to overturn the election, who called free press the enemy of the people, and on and on and on. And they see truth as optional. So no matter what, like, that's why I say don't ever believe everything that you read, especially everything that's put out there in the press, because it is not necessarily the truth. The networks are able to put out there the narrative that they want. The networks are out there to put out a narrative that they want. And they call all of the people they know, all of the reporters, and they try to shape the story, and they tell you whatever, and they call, they call the press and all of the big news organizations before you even know what's happening behind the scenes. Before Stephen didn't know, according to Oliver. They didn't think that he knew. Stephen had no idea. I'm sure Joy had no idea. I had no idea. And then they call the people before, and they tell them the story that they want to put out. And then that's what everybody believes. And that's what gets, I'm telling you guys, it is a racket. And it's shameful. Like, it's shameful even for some of the people I know and respect that they are doing this right now. It's unbelievable. How many billions of dollars do you need? So you have, let's see, Charles is gone from the New York Times. Joy is gone from MSNBC. I'm gone from CNN. Stephen Colbert is gone from late night. Jon Stewart is on the rocks. And the folks that you see now, and then there are others. Katie Fang is gone. Jim Acosta is gone. And these weren't people, when I say these aren't anti-Trump people. No one is, I don't believe any of these people are anti-Trump. I think these people were anti-truth and journalism. And I think they were pro-truth, journalism, integrity, and democracy. And so perhaps that put them in the realm of being anti-Trump, because Trump is not about any of those things. Trump is about himself. Trump lies all the time. Trump is about insurrections. Trump is about grifting. Trump is about criminality. Remember, he's convicted. And so, you guys, people were so like caught off guard when it happened to me, because I was sort of the canary in the coal mine, and that they built up all of this shit around it to try to make you believe that, oh my God, Don is this and he's that, and he's difficult and he's all that. It was all bullshit. This is a business decision, because they want their views, the corporation, they want their views elevated and profiled, and they don't want people negating something that they want to be they want their reality to be your reality. And you see it even now, if you look at the magazine. Sometimes I read New York Magazine and I'm like, what's happened to New York Magazine? New York Magazine now, when I read it, I feel like I should be a 20 or 30-something-year-old white girl living in the Village in New York. Otherwise, I just don't relate. I'm like, what is this magazine even about? That's just one. Like, so I don't even watch cable because I can't relate. Tim and I we were turned on the morning shows. It's like, oh, let's see what happens. We were flipping through. We're like, my God, this feels so old. Like, just the format is so old, and it's so staid, and it was so boring. And then we were watching, and finally, one of the morning shows we were watching, I just won't say, and then we were like, God, this is just so vanilla, bland, and anodyne. And then Simone Sanders popped up, and there was energy. It's like, oh, wow, at least she is interesting. She has something to say. They're getting rid of all of the talented people who you want to watch, whether you like them or not. They're getting rid of all of the people who are interesting, who are talented, who for some reason, you don't know what it is, they call it a je ne sais quoi, whatever, that you want to watch them. I don't know anybody on any channel now that I am dying to go watch at a certain hour every night. I mean, just a person. I mean, obviously Rachel still has that, but she's not even on every night. There's no one, folks used to say, oh my God, I would set my VCR for you and Chris every night. And then now I don't anymore. And I get it. And then people who didn't even like us or agreed with us, but they knew there was some authenticity there. And there was something that was interesting about the people who were delivering the information. And now there's nothing interesting. I don't find someone who has a nice haircut interesting. I'm sorry. I don't find someone who wears 3-inch false eyelashes interesting. I just don't. I don't find someone who has a head full of synthetic hair interesting. I just don't. I love that Simone Sanders has the guts to be bald and beautiful on television. I don't get it. And then you keep saying, well, it's because people are tuning out because people are cutting the cord. Yes, that's true. But it's also because you're not doing anything that's interesting or authentic. You're still doing the same format that you've been doing since the advent of news, cable, and broadcast. And you're also bowing to someone who's not even a good person, who doesn't even believe in America and democracy and all the things that we're supposed to be about. He doesn't even believe in that. Someone who is a criminal, someone who is an adjudicated abuser of women. Like, and all because of what? Money or fear? I don't get it. We're supposed to be the bulwark of truth and integrity and information for the people, at least journalists and people who are delivering the information. And instead, they've become, it's like what the morning shows are about now. It's about selling something, a dream, something that's aspirational rather than what is reality. Well, now if I do happen to turn it on or walk by on the airplane or I'm flipping through on the airplane or whatever it is, and I look, everybody's selling a book, everybody's selling a movie, everybody's selling something. Everybody has a thing that they're selling. That's not what it's supposed to be about. How about like what is actually happening? I couldn't wait when I was like first starting out to turn on the Today Show. Those first freaking 20 minutes, I was like, damn, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Now I'm old. This was like Jane Pauley and Brian Gumbel. And then it was Bryant and Katie. And then it was Matt and Katie. And then it was like, I couldn't wait to turn on the Today Show to get it. Boom. You got it. And they would be fighting with the senator and the president and holding them to account. And they weren't afraid of what the people upstairs were going to say if they were going to be fired, because they knew that was their mission as journalists. Oh, and then we get to the back end. All right, we're going to sell. And they came up with the concerts. All right, whatever. That's not my thing, but I get it. That the people want that. But at least there was news in an interesting way with people who were interesting. When Katie would burp, I'd laugh. Right? Or when she would, get a colonoscopy, it was like, that's real. I worked with her husband. I was like, this is all real. Like it was authentic. And it wasn't just someone with a face full of makeup and a lot of hair product and jewelry. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a rant, but I can't stand it anymore. I cannot stand it anymore. Anywho, those were the days, and you knew when you were then. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent this morning, but it's just so annoys me. And look, I'm not even like that friendly or big. Like I've been on Stephen Colbert's show. I was on the Colbert Report a while back. Look it up. It's on the internet. I was on CNN and I interviewed someone who was a vampire. And the Colbert Report from Comedy Central called me up and asked me to be on Stephen's show. And it was just really great. So I got to go on. And then I have been on the Late Night with Stephen Colbert a couple times. And it's funny. It was a great show. He's really, he can be really funny. And then also, but really territorial too as well. And I've been on Kimmel. Kimmel is great. Kimmel is one of the hosts that it's for Kimmel, it's about making the guest look presenting them in the best light as possible. so that they can shine. It was not competitive. It was just like, hey, you know, great. So Kimmel was really great at that. Who's the other one? And Fallon. Oh my God, same thing with Fallon. I've been on Fallon's show. Jimmy is great. And if he can do a skit with you or something that's funny or go on a little rant or a riff with you, he will do that. He's the same way. And so Fallon is amazing and fantastic. And yeah, and then there's been a bunch of them. I've been on Chelsea Handler. She had a late night talk show, and everyone. Seth Meyers. Seth is great as well and I've been on Conan. Whatever, Conan is brilliant. All those guys. Those days are gone. They're coming to an end. Coming to an end. Looks like everybody's going to have to go kind of the way that Howard Stern did. And Howard went over to Sirius Satellite Radio. And now everyone, welcome to YouTube, everybody, or Netflix or streaming. Because here we go. All right, so let me just thank some folks here. Will Wallace, thank you. This is why major networks and mainstream media are suffering viewership because propaganda and bribery. Truth takes the backseat when access and money are involved. Giggle says, have y'all canceled your cable? I'm thinking about it. All I watch is Don. I've had it with podcast. I've had it podcast, Bulwark and Midas. Should I cancel it? Hey, look, you do you. And I find if a restaurant is not serving what I want to eat, then I'm not going to eat there. Holly W., thank you for your very generous, because of Holly's generosity, 10 people get to become members of Elimination. Also, Lonnie Wolf, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to all the new members. And by the way, if you guys want to support us, make sure you become a member. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also check out the website. Go to donlemon.com. That's so easy. And you can figure out where to watch us. There's a YouTube link at the top, and there's all of our streaming platforms. We need to put our socials on there. They may be on there somewhere. Let me know, Nikki. If they're not, we'll make sure that they're on there. And then if you want some merch, boom, click on the merch, and you too can be the recipient or owner of one of these great shirts and the mug. And I left my hat today. I didn't wear the hat today. I've been wearing it all week. And we got our Wet 'em fans at. This was Reese Colbert's. Speaking of Colbert, this was her idea to put the fans on there. #1 seller. Unbelievable. So thank you for supporting us. If you are in any of our merch, take a picture of it. We'll put it on the air. We'll put it on the stream. All right. We want truth, not lies, not fake. Don, we are sick of it too. Happy you are on YouTube, on the Tubi, on YouTube. That is from Starlight. Also, make sure you check this out. Go check us out, DL and DL. Now, you talk about real truth. DL Hughley and I are going to be at City Winery on August 12th. August 12th at 7:30 p.m. The doors open at 6 p.m. It is our episode 2. #1 was sold out, back by popular demand. So make sure you go and get your tickets now while you can, because you think this was spicy today. Wait till you see DL and DL and I. Anything goes. DL Hughley, Don Lemon, anything goes. On August 12th, 7:30 at City Winery in New York City. Okay, so I'm going to see you back here live at 5. And as I always tell you, you can be informed without being inundated. And now you know the importance of independent media, okay? And so thanks for supporting us. And so don't sit in front of the TV all day with your alerts and just being outraged. Be informed without being inundated until I see you live at 5 p.m. right here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. Turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.